Hi, welcome to the session of ISO 45001 2018. So it was previously called as ISO 18001, but now it is a replacement for the previous standard. So this is called Operational Health and Safety Management Systems, or OHAS. OHAS. So I am Tota Krishna Hema, your quality expert. So why I have taken this concept at this time is like we are the people who are suffering with the pandemic right now is so we have to focus on the two different facilities, or your admin and facilities group need to follow to maintain the hygiene work environment and workable conditions. So they have to take care of your health and they have to take care of your safety as well. Like this standard, along with the uh, in combination with 14001, or the environment management system, so it gives better results. So what exactly this 45001 standard talks about is, this is actually a framework in which a set of rules, policies, SOPs, or the processes, plans and practices for preventing occupational health and safety hazards and minimizes the risks at your workplace. So if you look at the statement, so it will have a set of processes, it will have a set of guidelines and checklists or the plans which we have developed in the work environment. So this was treated as an important aspect in terms of construction field. It's like I have grown up in an environment which is, my dad is in construction business, so I know the requirements of the construction business, what are the safety measures which we have to take in the construction business. Also, like if you see the healthcare industry, like we need to ensure on the sterilization process, or we need to ensure on the checklist, like the process implementation step by step. So this OHAS implementation is varied. It varies from one industry to the other industry. So if you are working in an IT industry like me, so if your scope of the your scope of OHAS will change from the other industries. So it is very unique with respect to the industry. So ISO 45001 deals with the requirements, guidelines and uses of OHAS, and that helps organization to cover every aspect of OHAS. So if you have a checklist in your hand, so you won't be able to miss any aspect of it, right? So the same way, like it will ensure the entire OHAS system will ensure you or your organization to maintain each and every aspect of OHAS. This is as we discussed before, this standard is a replacement of OSAS 18001 2007. This standard is unique as per the scope of the company, as we discussed before. So what are the benefits of ISO 45001 implementation? So it improves the company reputation. So we have the hazardous, or we have the, see for example, recently in Visakhapatnam, due to the chemical explosion, so many people have inhaled the even Bhopal gas incident. So if you take the examples of it, like it is involved in the people's lives at risk. So it will avoid the health hazards. It will also ensure the safety of the people who are working in that work environment. So this improves the company reputation. So it ensures, see, if you reduce the incidents, then obviously people are much more inclined to work in your particular organization. So it saves the money and lives by increasing the rate at insurance companies, saves fees in case of incidents and legal proceedings. So if your employees are exposed to multiple incidents or the accidents, I can say, in a normal terminology, so there is a probability of more insurance claims, right? So that's when your reputation will go down and your insurance companies will charge you more. Even if your company exposes to multiple incidents, then the insurance claims or these all like legal proceedings, like we are not with this. See, we have to support the families of your employees, or as per your policies or your legal proceedings it will cost. So all this will come down if you implement this ISO 45001 in your organization. It improves predictability. Since we collect a set of data and analyze it, we will be able to predict the cost which is required for the incidents or the probability. See, if you see this particular zone is accidental prone, okay, that's when like you will create an awareness boards, like drive slowly, or walk with a helmet in this place, because people are working at the heights, or so you will ensure wearing the safety shoes, or these kind of safety measures you will take to reduce the risk or reduce the count of the incidents, reduce the occurrence of the incidents. So that's when like it continuously improve your process. Just like any other ISO standard, so we have 10 clauses. So 0 to 3 are not so important, or not major clauses, but it will have introduction, scope, normative reference, terms and conditions. But 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and these all clauses are very important. These all 7 clauses are very important, are the most critical clauses as the other ISO standards. So it is distributed in the plan to check cycle, check act cycle, PDCA cycle. PDCA cycle. So this context of the organization, leadership, planning comes into the plan phase, or plan part, and support and operations comes into do part, and performance evaluation will come into the check part, and improvement comes into your act. So PDCA approach is distributed like this in this picture. And we have risk-based thinking, which came into the new standard, the process approach. So process is a set of interrelated activities which transforms input to output. So it will have a certain processes which we have defined as per the guidelines which is provided in the standard. What are the important clauses in your ISO 45001 2018 or OHAS? So clause 4 is context of the organization, which describes how we have to set up a context in terms of the occupational health and safety management system, considering the needs and expectations of interested parties, including the scope and requirement of the OH and SMS. So interested parties may be your customers, maybe your employees, maybe your suppliers as well. So whoever is involving in your organizational growth. Okay. Clause 5 is leadership, which describes the commitment and involvement of the top management system to the OHAS, along with the OHAS policy defined. So clause 6 is planning, describes planning of OHAS activities based on risks and opportunities evaluation. This also talks about the requirements of hazard identification and assessment, determining legal and other requirements, OHAS objectives and plans for achieving them. So it's clause 7 talks about support. It describes the requirement of people, infrastructure, work environment, monitoring and measuring resources, or the competencies, awareness, communication and documented information to implement OHAS. Clause 8 is operation, which describes the establishment of operational controls to eliminate the occupational health and safety hazards, management of changes and emergency preparedness and responses and response. So see, you have observed a difference, right? So in any other ISO standard, we have operations in a different way, but here we will look into the hazard and management of changes and the emergency preparedness and the response, like your how much time you are able to respond to the incident, and within how much time you are able to bring in, or you are able to get the assistance from the required supplier, or your vendor, or your linked up hospital, or this is how it is. Clause 10 talks about performance evaluation. So describes the measures and monitoring mechanism to evaluate the performance of defined OHA system, which include your metrics, internal audit, performance status reporting, and management review. So this performance status reporting frequency may be different from the management review. So management review is something like where you have a top management, your top management is involved in it, but performance status reporting is your manager's status report, or your just the reporting manager or your supervisor's status reporting. And clause 10 is talks about improvement, so which describes how we can continually improve the existing OHA system and the requirements for managing NCs, incidents, hazards, and corrective actions. So how will you be able to get this ISO 45001:2018 certification? So first of all, we have to prepare a plan, and then define OHA system. Or if you have any existing system in your in place, like you have existing processes in place, you need to conduct a gap analysis and identify what are the required changes to the existing system. And then we have to document, in case of deltas, we have to document it, or you have to embed those changes into the existing processes. Or if you are developing a completely new system, then you have to develop a completely new SOPs, or the processes with respect to the customer and other interested parties' needs and expectations, which are in scope of the organization. Okay, and you have to implement and train the team on the defined processes and checklist guidelines. This all you have to put it in one PPT, or any other, like on-job training, or you can conduct training sessions separately to the team. And then how will you evaluate it is like by conducting internal audits at the particular frequency, or the defined frequency, and even the management reviews you have to conduct with the top management. That's when you will get to know the performance of the performance or status of the certification. Then once you are stabilized, once you are okay with the performance of your see, if you are getting less number of internal of NCs or findings in the internal audit, or if your status report sounds okay, if there is less number of change requests to the existing system, then you can imagine, or you can get to know the system is stable. That's when you have to consult a third party to get it assessed and in compliance with the 45001 or not. Then endure the certification and continual improvement. So as the other ISO standards, it will also have 2 stages of audit when you are going for the new certification process. Stage 1 is they will come and evaluate, the third party auditors will come and evaluate your defined OHA system documentation and other processes, guidelines, checklists, whatever you have prepared, okay, that they will ensure on. And stage 2, they will come and they will ensure on the implementation. But stage 1 is for the documentation, and stage 2 is for the implementation or the compliance. So once you have done with the stage 2 and the findings, if you address the findings which are identified in stage 2 audit, then that's when the third party auditor will give you a certificate that this particular company or the organization is certified for ISO 45001:2018. So this I came to the end of this session. If you like this concept, click like button. If you want further more videos like this, subscribe to my channel. Thank you.